What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So in the other video, I did talk about the next crew game being in development, and I do feel like they are most likely working on another game, which could be the Crew 3 or, some type of crew game on top of Motorfest, maybe Motorfest 2? Probably not. But I did want to ask a question, though. If they are actually making another crew game, where do you guys think it's actually going to be? I have been thinking about this recently, like if they are making another game, could they actually go back to the United States or like an updated version of that map? To be honest, I feel like they might actually have to take a different route and go somewhere else. If they did actually go back to the Crew 2 map, that would obviously have to be updated. Maybe they can add on the entire Hawaii thing to it, which I think is a bit of a stretch. We all do know this was supposed to be like a DLC, so maybe they could have added this onto that map. But what if they actually brought back the Crew 2 map, which was updated in graphics? Of course, we had the handling of Motorfest in that crew game, and then they also added like the Hawaii maps and stuff on top of the United States. I just feel like that might work, but again, do you guys actually think players would want to go back to the Crew 2 map again after being on that map for around 10 years? I just feel like players are going to be like, well, yeah, Block, that map was massive. They have a lot of room to add stuff to it, and they can always add like a DLC, like maybe Hawaii or something onto it. Then it would probably be fine if they were to keep using a map of that size. I do understand they did want to do something different, so they took the Hawaii route, even though they most likely should have waited a bit and probably released a second island on top of this map. That way we actually had two islands on release, and they release a third island in the second year of the game, or that would actually be the first year if they waited a year. Then it probably would have been better. I just feel like a lot of players probably don't want to go back to the Crew 2 map again after playing on that one for 10 years. Do let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. But here's the thing though, if they were to actually make another crew game, which we most likely probably know at this point, that they probably are, where are they actually going to go? Like, what could be the next location of the next crew game? To be honest, I have been thinking about this a bit recently, but there's a few things I actually think could be possible. So for one, guys, I wanted to say Europe, which is probably a pretty bold statement because Europe is pretty big. But a few places in Europe, like maybe Germany, Poland, Norway, Sweden, kind of just throwing things out there. Maybe the United Kingdom, maybe France, maybe Spain. Do let me know in the comments below which place would you guys like to see out of Europe in that game. For who knows, maybe they could add Russia or Ukraine. I'm kind of just throwing a bunch of different places out there. Maybe we could get Alaska. Ha! Probably not. I mean, that's also very far away from where I was just talking about. But I do feel like if they were to do another location, I also think they should go somewhere completely different. We all do know right now, yes, they could obviously do the entire United States again, which don't get me wrong, that would probably be dope with like updated graphics and stuff. But a lot of players most likely going after the next crew game are probably going to be looking for a new location. If I'm going to guess right now, they're probably not going to go back to Hawaii, which would that would be a terrible decision. They're probably going to look at somewhere different, maybe something like Germany again, or even France, even the United Kingdom. I actually feel like a new map design like that would be absolutely insane. Now imagine if they did something like that in Europe to where it was similar to the Crew 2 map, where they had a bunch of like every place in that said map. For example, they have Germany, they have Belgium in there, France. They might even throw something like a piece of Italy in there. I feel like that map would be so dope if they actually did something like that. Don't get me wrong, I would love like an entire like Germany map or something, or even like the United Kingdom. That would also be sweet. But imagine if they actually threw each of every said location into that map, similar to the Crew 2, like you had like the main destinations in New York. Then from there you can actually go down to like Miami, hit up the Keys, head over to like the Grand Canyon, go, okay, you know what, bro, I'm going to go over to Chicago, then I'm going to Seattle. Like having that option really does make a map so much better. So why not do that again in the future by having all of these said areas put together? Even though I would say some players are like, yo, make the map a bit bigger, like have more iconic places in there. Whether, guys, if we had like 3 or 4 different areas in Europe in one map, that would be absolutely insane. I would love it. Now let's just think about this for a second though. What if they actually added somewhere like Japan? We all do know a lot of players have been talking about Tokyo being added. Man, I absolutely loved going on that map back in Midnight Club Dub Edition, man. That was so dope. But would you guys actually like to see Japan being in a racing game like that? Would that be pretty dope? I would say any new map location like that would be such a dope change. This is also probably going to be why I actually like the fact that the new test drive game is going to be in the Hong Kong island. That is so cool. And that will probably come down to the fact that that will indeed be a brand new location that we have not really seen in a racing game. And everybody's going to be like, well, this map is dope, but what if it's too small? Hong Kong Island is too small, bro. I have to be honest here, guys. Even if the map is tiny, that's not a bad thing. As long as there's a lot of stuff to do in that said map, there's going to be detail, you actually have a lot of content to go through, then having a smaller map is not a bad thing. Funny thing is, having a bigger map, I would say players might actually look at this and go, okay, the map is gigantic, but the entire map is going to have a whole lot of nothing in it, which is kind of funny because I actually made a video about this, which I will leave a tag on the screen for, to where I go over why having a huge map over a small map might not necessarily be the best thing ever, but also at the same time it can be great because yes, having a bigger map, you can definitely have a lot more content in that said map, like events or, you know, special seasons being added to it like we had in the Crew 2, like for example the story update. And if it was to be something like that, it would make a lot more sense because then you'd actually go to different locations instead of going to like the exact same place over and over for a specific challenge. Like, hey yo bro, wasn't I already here? But here's the thing. The map is smaller, they basically don't have a choice. So I would like to know what you guys actually think about that in the comments below. Do you actually want the map to be massive like the Crew 2, or do you want it to be smaller? I would almost guarantee right now players are probably going to go blocked. I would love to have a bigger map again, that way I can cruise around on it, but I do think having like the graphics and stuff being updated is probably a must if they did do that, and that's also why I think if they actually took a different approach and did like a bunch of different locations in the Europe side of it, would be so dang dope to actually see in a racing game. I could not imagine seeing something like Poland, Germany, who knows, maybe even Austria, Italy, France. You even see something like a piece of Belgium in there, bro. That would be such a dope map, man. I would absolutely love it. I feel like a lot of players would love having a different location. That way it's not going to go to like LA or something, which don't get me wrong, that won't happen. They would end up going somewhere different like maybe Alaska, to where we'd end up getting a trailer going, hey yo bro, we got some snowmobiles in the Crew, and everyone's going to be like, what? That doesn't make any sense there, bud. So I would say something like that would not happen unless it was like a small DLC that they ended up adding. Like, for example, again, putting the Hawaii Islands onto the United States map, and that would actually make sense as like a DLC onto it, or adding Alaska to it. Then yeah, that would probably be something different if they did it that way. But again, guys, I just feel like if they were to make another Crew game, which we obviously know they are again, the biggest question is where are they actually going to go with it? And I do feel like if you go to like the Europe side of it and have like that entire map redesigned similar to like the Crew 2 map, to where they throw in like a bunch of different locations like iconic areas, and then we also can explore the entire place, that would be so dang cool, man. The big question is though, where exactly are they going to take the next Crew game? Do let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. What are some of your favorite locations and your overall top 3 locations you would like to see the next Crew game located? For me right now, I would probably say the biggest place for me would most likely be the Europe part design, to where you can actually drive to each area from like Germany to then France and go over to like Italy or something, similar to how like the Crew 2 was, having the most iconic locations and then having a gigantic map around it. Again, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below, but overall, what is the main location you would like to see next?